Hey everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to season 2, episode 2 of Live with Rebecca and Amanda. Am I on the right thing? I think I am. It said that, anyway, and Amanda will be joining us right now. Let me just add her in. Stand by one moment. Hey!
Hey there, how are ya?
Good. I keep getting like a notification about myself on my phone. It's weird. So I was like,
No, you're good. You're good.
okay.
When you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, she thinks that she's on a different account. Because if you're like me, you have a million different accounts and you're like,
Yes.
wait, am I in the right account?
Yeah,
So,
I did.
hello, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Hey, you look great. You look fabulous.
Well,
Fabulous.
I'm
Monday.
for you all. Just tried to be. I felt like being pretty today. I even put in earrings, which I don't think I've worn earrings for like a really long time. I even went like out on Friday night, and I didn't wear earrings. But today I'm just like, oh, I look pretty. I look pretty for you, darling.
You want to wear some pearls?
Yeah. Well, I live in the South, and so I'm wearing my pearls.
Wearing the pearls. Well, just so that those of you joining us know what we're going to talk about today, besides our pearls and all the fun stuff we just kind of randomly talk about. Today, we are going to be talking about bokeh, taking photos with bokeh. And so if that is interesting, don't go away. We will be back to that subject after we talk about some little hellos and everything, but if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Hey.
Yeah, and it's a two-parter. So part one today, inspiration. I've got some pictures here for you from years past. And I'm sure you've got your tips and your pictures from years past, your favorites. So we're going to kind of pick on some of our friends and show off some of their pictures from years past. And then part two, next week, which I think we're going to do next week. Are we on for next week?
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
If you're on, I'm on. Yeah.
My kids are going to be home from school, but I'll make sure the husband's home to like corral them.
If you can't do it, it's fine.
I think we should do it. I think we should do it. Maybe I'll have my husband take them out to lunch or something like that. But next week I'm going to talk about how to shoot your own bokeh overlays and how to work with them in Photoshop, how to edit them and that kind of thing. So it's a two-parter, y'all. So today is inspiration. Next week, we'll talk about the technical side of it.
And actually, Tiffany, I'm so glad you're on because Tiffany was asking me the other day. She's a Camera Mama Premium member.
Hey.
Like, hey, do you have a Camera Mama Premium video on like shooting for Christmas stuff and with the bokeh? And I was like, well, if you just go and look through like old tips from, years past on Camera Mama, that's a great place to be. But anyway, so this is like just for you, Tiffany. So hopefully it's helpful.
And y'all just feel free to interrupt us and ask questions. And if we don't see your question, we promise we'll scroll back around and get to your question. So feel free to interrupt us. It's more fun when we have people asking us.
Yes. So so here's a question. Maybe it's always fun to get interaction too. Where's everyone tuning in from? If you're tuning in, I'd love to hear what state or country you're tuning in from. It's always so fun to hear.
And you can connect with some other people. I've seen in episodes past where someone will say, I'm from Milwaukee. And then someone will be like, no way, like, where? Like, I'm from there. So like, maybe you'll find, your people. So yeah, let us know where you guys are from. Feel free to interrupt us. But last week, at the end, we had kind of like an after show because we go blah, blah, blah. I've got a timer, by the way. My dog started barking like a maniac at the Amazon guy store. You were telling us about your free gear guide. And especially since the holidays and Black Friday is coming up. Maybe we should do a little special Black Friday episode. You were telling us about your free gear guide, and my dog was just barking away. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to like redo that. So talk about the gear guide, especially since we've got Christmas and Black Friday coming up.
Yes. The number one question people ask me is friends, family, people in the Camera Mama community is, what camera should I get? What lens should I get? What do you recommend? And I spent a lot of time writing like individualized emails, and then I decided I'm just going to put it all in one place. And so I put it all in one place, and I went into great detail. It's a 15-page PDF. So if you head over to cammama.com, there's a place you can just click and you can download a you put in your email address, and then we send you immediately, if you do it during the show, a free gear guide. So, and it's also great for that, Santa Claus in your life. If you're not the Santa Claus in your life, to send it on. Like, I have friends whose husbands, they reach out to me around birthdays or holidays, and they say, hey, Natalie wants something with camera wise, what should I get her? And so anyway, I just have that there for your Santa Claus or for yourself, so you can have some ideas on which direction to go. So thank you.
And don't buy anything yet, because I am telling you guys, Black Friday, it sneaks up on me every year, but Black Friday, there are great deals on camera bodies, lenses, especially editing tools. Oh my gosh, Click and Mom stuff. There's huge discounts in their store, presets, actions. Don't buy anything between now and Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Okay.
Because y'all, and I've got blog posts from years past on who did. Jessica Drawson always does a Black Friday special. So y'all, maybe what I'll do is in the show notes, I will look up my past year's blog posts with the Black Friday deals, so that you can be on the lookout. If you've been wanting something from Jessica Drawson, just as an example, you'll be able to look through that list and find out who was offering deals last year, because they're probably going to offer them again this year. So don't buy anything yet. Wait.
That's a great tip. So wait, where can they find that if they wanted to find
it's on my blog, but I will, I'll link to it in the show notes. Last week, if you guys caught us last week, or if you missed us last week, I saved the recording, I put it up on YouTube, and in the show notes, and I know if you're on your computer, I don't know if this works on a phone unless you're logged in. I got to play with that a little bit. But if you go to YouTube, and the link is photographerhack.com/live2-1. We got it. So
hey, guess what? I have you covered, because I just put that in a highlight. So if you also go to the highlights on Camera Mama, on the main Camera Mama page, there's a section called Live Show, and you can swipe up if you missed it, and there.
And you can click on the show notes. I watched it, and I wrote notes out with URLs and everything that we talked about.
That's amazing. Good job.
Click. So let's say you don't want to listen to us bleh, bleh, bleh in the beginning. Let's just say I annoy you, and I get that. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? But if I annoy you, but let's say you really want to hear Rebecca talk about her favorite Bokeh tips from years past, whatever. You can skip to that, y'all. It'll say at minute 16:14 seconds, you can tap on that, and then it'll go straight to Rebecca's blurb, and you can just skip over me, darlings. I don't mind. I'm old now. I don't care what people think about me. But yeah, YouTube is awesome for that, because you get to skip around to what you want. You can pause, you can rewind. It's so much easier than IGTV or, so definitely do that. So yeah. So shall we jump right in?
Yes, you go first though. Okay. Oh, but wait, I wanted to say hello. There are a few people who said where they're coming in from. And there was somebody,
South Florida,
says hi from Argentina. Y yo dice, yo hablo español y yo vivía en Argentina antes, así que hola, hola, hola. So anyway, I used to live in Argentina, and so I just had to give her a special hello. I do speak.
I thought I knew you. I didn't know you lived in Argentina.
Yeah, I was, for a long time ago.
Dubai. We have hello from Dubai. What time is it in Dubai right now?
Yeah, what time?
That's crazy.
Oh, hey, Celeste. Hey. Brazil, Mississippi. Are you seeing, do you get these before me? Turkey.
I don't know. I'm just scrolling. Mississippi. Hey, I'm over in Georgia. Hi from Turkey. Hello.
That's
hey.
so crazy.
9 p.m. Well, it's lunchtime for us where I am. You're in the morning. It's 9 a.m. for you, right? No, 10 a.m. Mountain.
Yeah,
yes?
10.
Okay.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. Israel, hello from Israel. Wow, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. We have people from everywhere. Y'all, this is awesome.
So fun. I love it. I love it.
All right, so shall we? It's 12:11. We're doing okay so far. And
okay, awesome.
Do you want to go first?
No,
you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. The first thing that I want to say real quick about Bokeh, I first want to tell you that I found that the best hashtag to look at for Bokeh, and I've pulled up a lot of them. I pulled up a lot of them.
This is a great tip, you guys.
Is from years past CM_Bokeh2. I don't know what happened to Bokeh or Bokeh 1, but it's Bokeh 2. You'll find it in your search bar. There's like thousands of results. That's such a great one. And so I'll take a look at those. And I have a few others pulled up as well that I'll show you. When we're talking about Bokeh, and if you say bouquet, you're welcome to say bouquet. Totally fine. Hey, from Norway. My ancestors are from Norway, if you know any Hansons. But when we're talking about bokeh, usually we're talking about light bokeh, right? The real pretty light bokeh that looks real sparkly when it's out of focus in the background. But also some really cool bokeh that you can achieve this time of year, depending on where you live, is snow bokeh is really, really pretty as well.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to start with an artist who is a longtime friend of mine. I love her to pieces. She takes long hiatuses from Instagram, as many of our friends do, which is cool. But when I thought about bokeh and I thought about snow bokeh, I thought of her. So I want to go ahead and show you this artist and show you a couple of pictures from her. Her name is Erica Bowton. Her handle on Instagram is Erica Eldridge Photos. And she does use bokeh overlays. And so next week we'll talk about that, but you can totally achieve this naturally, snow bokeh, especially if you have a longer lens, like a 70 to 200, if you're using a very low aperture. And it depends on how close your subject is to your lens and how much background space you have. This is a big photography tip that I think people learn a few years in, right? Is that the closer you are to your subject, let's say your kid, and then the longer the distance between your subject and the background, the better that beautiful bokeh is gonna be. So you want your background to be far away and you want your subject to kind of be close to you, if possible. I'm just giving an example. But I'm gonna show you some of Erica's stuff. So I'm gonna pick up the phone and turn it around here.
Awesome.
I've got her account pulled up here. Let's see. And I was just enjoying some of her images going back. You can even have campfire bokeh. 'Tis the season for some s'mores and campfires and stuff. She uses bokeh in so many cool ways. This is flower bokeh.
That's really cool.
Your holiday baking. And I'm going to show you a few different things, but I do want to show you how she uses snow bokeh. That's heart-shaped bokeh. How adorable is that? I'm going to show you next week how to do that. No worries. And then let's see here. Oh, see, I'm seeing through my screen. What did I want to show you? Sorry, I can't find it. Here we go.
Oh, that's fine.
So this one, you can see that she's used a couple different bokeh overlays. She's got a snow bokeh in there and also light bokeh. She actually used my bokeh overlays. I have free bokeh overlays for my Hubhack members, and she used that in this image, which is so fun. She was sweet to tell me that. Here's another one where she used a bokeh overlay just to add some beautiful interest to the image. Now, again, I'm not going to look at this image and be like, oh yeah, that's totally real. No, I know it's an overlay, but you know what? It's pretty and it added some sparkle and interest to a beautiful picture, but it just gave it a little oomph. It just gave it a little something special. So, I mean, check that out. Isn't that cute? You can see there's the Christmas light bokeh in the background.
Ooh, love it.
Let's see. Here's some snow. Now, one thing that I want to tell you about, which is the one that I want to do, this one. One thing about Erica is she does love to free lens. And if you're going to use freelensing as a technique, if you're going to use a tilt shift lens or a lens baby, this is the snow bokeh I'm talking about, people. Do you see that? How cool that is?
It's so cool.
It is so cool. So I believe this was done in camera. I don't think this was an overlay, although you could do this with an overlay if you wanted to zhuzh it up later.
I love the zhuzh it up. I love that.
You got to zhuzh. You must zhuzh. Here's another snow bokeh image. And again, maybe this was free lensed or maybe this was just a fun out of focus shot here. But you can see that snow bokeh is really kind of a cool, it's kind of cool. So when you think bokeh, don't just go light bokeh. If you live in a part of the country where you've got snow, you can totally rock that. This was an iconic image of hers.
Oh,
I love
that.
Everywhere. And again, totally can do this with some overlays as well. If you live in the South like I do, and I don't know if you never know if we're going to get snow or not, but I think that's what I wanted to show you from her. And I'm going to jump over. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to let you take it away. I need to show you this one. When I knew we were going to talk about bokeh inspiration, this image, this was posted December 4th of 2017. So this is almost 2 years ago. This is the image that came to mind. So it's that memorable to me.
Wow.
I'm going to show you an image from, I'm going to try to enlarge this a little bit if I can. Okay. I'm going to show you an image from the Great Summer Murdock. If you guys know me at all, you know I'm obsessed with her, like obsessed in the same way I'm obsessed with Joanna Gaines. Like obsessed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sorry, it's true. Okay. So
I love that.
Now again, this was free lensed. Now you can see where she uses some negative space here to kind of really draw the viewer's eye, but I really hope you guys can see this. It's a free lensed image where you can see some of this is in focus. And then it just tapers off into this beauty. Do you just see that? And
yes, it's
I
so
hope
pretty.
this comes across. I'm going to link to this image. It's just beautiful. And so my best tip when it comes to bokeh and with inspiration is that anything you can do to create some out of focus, some blur. So free lens, rock your free lens. If you haven't free lensed for a while, like me, try free lensing again. Pull out that lens baby or tilt shift lens. But definitely pull that out, because anything you can do to create that out of focus sparkly effect is going to make a really cool image. So those are my, and I have so many more, but I know we're running out of time. And
you can keep going. You can keep going. I love hearing Just do one more.
Let me show you one from Cami Turpin of Blue Hill Images.
I think she might even be on right now, or she was on a minute ago.
Is she? Okay, I had hers pulled up. Where is it? I had one from hers pulled up that I just loved. Oh my gosh! Wait, where'd it go?
Don't worry.
Oh, hers was so pretty, y'all. What it was, one of her children was playing looked like a cello or a viola, a larger stringed instrument. And there was the Christmas tree in the background and the bokeh, and she shoots a lot of film, so she probably created this on a film camera. But it was just so beautiful, and the bokeh was reflecting off. It was a very low light image. It was reflecting off of the cello, and it was just this beautiful. Anything you can do to get a little distance between your subject and your Christmas tree to create that magic in the background. And I am so sorry, Cami. I thought I had it up here and I lost it. But anything you can do to create that. It was just the Christmas tree was in the background, and it was very subtle, and it just created this beautiful sparkle in the image. So those are mine. So I'll let you take it away. I don't want to take up all your time.
Well, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
If anyone wants to type in some questions while I get started, feel free to type in your bokeh questions or anything really. And I'm going to start by showing you an image from, I'm pulling all my the things I'm sharing from tips of the week that are housed on our website. So if you're ever looking for some inspiration, like Amanda was saying, one of the best places that she likes to go is to look at old hashtags. And another place you can look is on our website, cammama.com, and you can look under tips of the week, or you can look at, we used to do a theme recap, and you can look there and find lots of great tips, lots of great education, and it's just there waiting for you. Okay, Tiffany has a question. What's freelensed? Do you want to cover that?
Yes, actually, you know what? Why don't you start with your tip and let me grab my camera real quick.
Okay.
So I'll let you take it away and I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm going to flip the screen to start with this image from Smitten in Swoon. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that is like one of those pictures I think just go in the Hall of Fame. That, I mean, a grandparent with your child, that's just so beautiful. And also I have to say, I've met Deanne at Insta Inspire, and she is so nice, and I just love her. And this was her tip that was featured on Tip of the Week quite some time ago. Let's see what the date was on that. That was from January of 2018. And she shared that this image was taken with her 85 1.4 at 1.8 for lots of bokeh blur. And she said, here's a good tip. She said she held battery-operated twinkle lights in front of her lens and moved them around until they were surrounding her daughter and her dad. And because she was at such a low aperture, the twinkly lights in the foreground and background were blurred. And then while she was editing it, she warmed it up and added a few extra twinkly lights to the Christmas tree. So if I were to have looked at this and thought, oh, I wonder if that's real bokeh or not, I probably would have guessed it was an overlay. But that is such a great tip to use those little twinkle lights. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like those little string lights that anyway. So
you can get fairy lights too, Rebecca. Fairy lights are really, those are pretty cool. I'm thinking of an image from Tiffany Kelly, T Kelly 912, where she used fairy lights and her lens baby, and it created like such a rad effect. So you can get fairy lights on Amazon for like $10, and they'll be at your door tomorrow.
Wait, that's what I was thinking of when she said twinkle lights. What's the difference between twinkle lights and fairy lights?
And it could be the same. It could just be like a battery operated. I know when I've done it in the past, and I'm lazy, y'all. I just use overlays. But when I've done it in the past, my twinkle lights for my Christmas tree plug into the wall. You can get battery operated ones too. I think my kids have some in their room. But yeah, you just plug them into the wall, and then you kind of try to wrap them around your lens or kind of hold them up kind of funny as you're trying to shoot too. So yeah, you can find that. Just Amazon it. If you're in the US, if you are outside the US, I don't know if you don't have Amazon, I don't know what people do without Amazon.
Speaking of Amazon, can I tell you something exciting?
Yes.
I the other day I like tagged Amazon photos in something, and they reached out to me, and
That's amazing.
And anyway, I'm gonna help them promote Amazon photos. So I'm so excited.
That's crazy town. Y'all never know. You just never know. You never know. Use the hashtag, tag somebody. Don't tag people you probably tag them in a relevant way. Don't just tag a bunch of people just to tag them. But if it's relevant to the image, like people love on Instagram, people love user generated content, and brands love to share what we're putting out there. I think that's amazing, Rebecca.
Yeah, I was just talking about it, and I put not sponsored because it wasn't sponsored. I was just like, nobody knows that Amazon does online photo storage and printing. Like, I was like, people don't know this. Anyway, huge fan of Amazon. Okay, so the next tip I'm going to share with you, I'm going to flip the screen. Oh, I thought I flipped it. Okay, here we go. This is from Monica.
I remember this one.
This is so cool. Oh, I love it
too. Yep.
And so her tip says, I captured this at blue hour with a vintage lens. There were string lights in the background, so I positioned myself in a way that allowed me to get them in the frame. All of it is in camera bokeh. I asked my daughter to look up so I could also get a pretty reflection in her sunglasses. I processed it in Lightroom, fixing the white balance and other basics, and then in Photoshop to work on the sharpening, composition, and colors. And she was at ISO 800, 1/250. And she said it's an old manual lens, so I didn't have the aperture, but her guess is it's like a 2. So anyway, that's a tip from Monica. And then here's one from It's Motherland.
I
And
remember this one too. I totally remember.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I think a good point to realize here is that everyone can go about it in their own way. Like some people are doing it with old vintage lenses. Some people are doing it with twinkle lights. Some people are doing it with overlays. So there's really no one right way to do it. So that's really what I wanted to show. So Carrie said here that she used Affinity Photo for iPad to edit all of her images. So
yeah.
What?
I said, I think I've heard it. I think a friend of mine mentioned that to me once. She was asking me what I edit with, and I was like, Lightroom and Photoshop. And she's like, oh, I use Affinity. And I'm like, I've never heard of it. So yeah.
I am not familiar with Affinity, but I think sometimes that can be like sometimes people think, oh, I have to have Photoshop. I have to know this. I don't know that, so I can't do that. But I just wanted to show you this image so you could see another option. And she says she shoots with an entry-level Nikon DSLR, and to capture this, she wanted lots of light behind the subject, so she placed Harry and the teddy in front of the window and fairy light tree. The window created a bright, cool light to contrast with the fairy lights in the lantern, which lit up Harry's face. She increased the temperature and tint slightly and added lots of bokeh. So anyway, I loved that one too. And I'll just do one more because I'm looking at the time and we're trying really hard to stick to
I know that's my alarm. Yes. But okay, I will answer the freelancing. After you're done, I'll answer the freelancing question. So okay, this is such an awesome picture.
Oh, yes. I love this one so much. And I also got to meet Liz at, where did I meet her? Insta Inspire also, yes. And this shows another application. I always like to show different applications for different seasons because I know that there's lots of you who are on the other side of the equator and it's not cold when it's Christmas down there in Argentina and Brazil and Australia. And so, you know what? You can do bokeh with summary images. So Liz said that she edited this mostly in Photoshop, and she used layer masks to adjust the skin tones. And then she said, I also often add additional bokeh in the images in certain places. And she gets the bokeh when she shoots in certain light, and she blows air out of her mouth while underwater.
Oh,
so, pretty cool.
That's a good tip. Okay, that's a great tip. Yeah.
So anyway,
really good tip. I've never thought of that.
Yeah. So anyway, there's just so many different ways to achieve the bokeh look, whether you're blowing bubbles underwater or adding fairy lights or using an editing app on the iPad. So many different ways to get that look. It's not just one way. So I'm going to turn it back over to you to answer Tiffany's question about freelancing.
Yeah, so freelancing in a nutshell, and I have some strong opinions about freelancing, so careful. You know, I have a strong opinion. All freelancing is that instead of having your lens mounted and attached to your camera body, you take it off. And so that's all it is. And so now I would not freelance with this one. I'll show you what I do freelance with. And I also would recommend, if you have a spare body or a backup body, I would recommend freelancing with your backup body, because sometimes there's like a sensor and a mirror and all sorts of crazy stuff in there, and you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. You don't want to get water in there, sand. You don't want to get anything in there. So I would do that. And then all you do is when you're freelancing, I would turn this bad boy to live mode. if you have an LCD back here, because you're going to have a lot better, you're going to be able to see better. If you're using the viewfinder, it's really hard to see where your focus lands, because what you're going to do is you're going to take the, let me see where I can line this up. I wonder if you can see that. And I'm going to hold the lens up to the mount, but it's not actually mounted. And so what I can do is I can tilt this around in there. Okay, so that's freelancing at its core. Now, what I do, I learned this from Summer Murdock, obsessed, learned it from her, is she recommended what she did, and I just did what she did because is I went to eBay and I bought an old lens, like an old crappy lens. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is like an Olympus. I don't know what this is, but it's just get an old 35 millimeter, 50 millimeter lens, maybe 24. It's better if it's small. And so what you're going to do is you're going to either, if you Google it, it's both ways. You can either whack it or hack it, whack it or hack it. Now, a lot of people misunderstand me and they think that I'm talking about the aperture lever. There's a little lever on the back of your lens right here that controls the aperture. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So some people think when I talk about whacking or hacking, see that? Hello. See, some people think I'm talking about keeping that aperture lever open. That's not what I'm talking about. Now, if you have a Nikon lens, you will need to hack your lens by using either a flosser, and I can go, I won't waste anybody's time here, but there are a million different ways that you can rig this up to keep this open. You'll want this open, your aperture all the way open. Nikon defaults to closed. But what I did, based on what Summer told me to do, I bought this old lens and I took the back off of it. Okay, so there's the front of the lens. This used to have, do you see that?
Yeah.
If you can see that. So this used to have a back that looked like this. And I took, there's this plastic around there and I ripped that off with like I don't know, a bunch of weird man tools. And I took that off. And so now it looks like this. And so the cool thing is that because this is called the lens element, I think, or I think it's the lens element or glass element, because that sticks out so far and it's not so flush like a normal lens, you can just rock this. It's so easy. So that little doodad that is now sticking out, not flush anymore, now I can stick that in there and I can really get some action. If I were using it with a regular lens, there's only so much I can play here.
Yeah.
But when I have this like this whacked, I can stick that in there and I can really move that around and I can get some rad effects. So this is what Summer does. That's what I did. I love my pictures that I do this with. I don't freelance very often because I just don't think of it. But that's what I would recommend is go to eBay, find a broken lens, at least where the glass is still intact, but everything else can be broken about it. Get a screwdriver out or ask your husband and just pry off the back covering of this. And
I love it. Well, hey, this has been so I think we could do a whole topic on that another day too. That's awesome.
Totally.
And I'm glad you asked that, Tiffany. That's such a great question. And hey, we're doing so good on time.
No, I know. Well, do you want to leave anybody with anything else that you're doing? Tell us about your theme this week, because I love your theme this week. Tell us about your theme.
Our theme is letterboards. So it's CM_letterboards. And in the past, I haven't actually ever used the word letterboards because I was like, oh, well, what if people don't have letterboards? And I like to be very inclusive. And so in the past, I've just had like words or something like that. But honestly, everywhere you go, there's letterboards. I mean, like you can get letterboards at TJ Maxx. You can get them at Target. You can get them everywhere. And I think I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have like 5 at least. So I'm kind of
obsessed. You have 5? You have 5? Oh my.
Oh, yes,
wow.
I have lots.
Wow.
I have so many. I even got one from Joanna Gaines, of course, you know, it was like a wooden one at Target, you know, anyway, but I love quotes, so I'm always having quotes all over my house or like in my bathroom. I have it now. I'm not doing good with the time now. See, I get off on these tangents, but
This is the
I
after
have one.
This is the after show.
Okay, this is the after show. In my bathroom, I have one. In my kids' bathroom, it says, please, it says like 1 towel per week. Okay, how often do you need to have a new towel if you're a kid?
We do one per week.
Okay,
We
yeah.
do. I know there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be horrified by that, and I'm sorry, but do you know how much laundry I do?
I know.
How much you do.
Do you know how many kids live at my house? Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, so it says,
unless
please.
It's smelly, like if it's gross.
Yes. If it actually smells, but yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you guys stop using like a towel every time anyway. So I have a letterboard in the bathroom that says something to the effect of 1 towel per week or whatever, and hang up your towel and blah, blah, blah. Don't put it on the floor. So
I need to put mine in the bathroom because there is a series of steps that I believe in for proper toileting. And my kids still have not gotten it. So I really should kind of step, but you know what? Picture inspiration right there, baby. That's going to be the picture I take this week. I'm going to make my letterboard with my rules. I have a lot of rules about this. And I have a 6-year-old son who you don't even want to know if you sit down and then you're like, oh, like, he didn't lift the lid. He didn't lift the lid. And so as a boy, you're supposed to lift the lid and then close both the lids, then flush. By the way, close the lids and then flush. Okay? You got to close them both and then you flush. I'm against this idea of like flushing and then anything that's in the toilet, just particles fly into the air. And then there's like, germs. And what if someone's toothbrush is there? And I'm like, oh, so yeah,
yes.
I'm close the lid. We're a lid closed family. So if I walk into the bathroom and that lid is up and no one has, I'm just like, anyway.
You're like, excuse me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Photo
That's
inspiration.
awesome. See, I go on these tangents. We are doing so good, and then tangent time.
But
that's fine. This is the after show, so all actual content is out the window. We're just blabbering. And Tiffany says they change their towels once a week, and her soul sisters with the cry face. I think that is for your comment about closing the lid.
You must. And Google it, you guys. I'm sorry. They've done studies. If somebody takes a number 2, okay, and then leaves the lid open and flushes it, when you flush, some of that, even in a public restroom, like I will stand against the door and like I will like use my foot. I'm tall like you. So I will get as much distance. And I will flush that bad boy and get out of there quickly. I don't believe in flushing toilets that are open. Like I believe that the lid just has to be closed. That's just. This
is what she believes. You know what? I need to be more thoughtful about the lids down. That is.
Sorry, now I've ruined everyone.
No. This is great. Okay, tell me anything you want to add before we.
Yeah, I was just going to add real quick. If you haven't already, because you and I debriefed after last week's show, and I totally forgot to tell you guys, I have a free mini course. So just go to my website, photographerhack.com. It's a free mini course. I've gotten really sweet, kind reviews that it's really been helpful for people. It's called I'm going to mess it up. Anyway, I'm paraphrasing. It's the easy way to get featured on Instagram hubs. And it's really, I gotta be honest, it's free, but that doesn't mean that I didn't do a good job of putting great content into it. And the reason I developed that class is I wanted to better prepare people who were thinking about joining HubHack, my membership community, because I felt like sometimes people would join or not join because they just weren't sure what it was or what I did. So I just help people get featured on Instagram. I help them with their hashtags. And that free mini course, all you have to do is go to my website and sign up. It's available forever. And I've gotten really sweet, kind reviews about it. So I think it's helpful. So if you haven't seen it.
And you guys, there is no one, I am serious. There's no one who knows how to get featured better than Amanda. Amanda is the, like, you know, you can say like there's photographers who teach this or that or whatever, but there is no one who knows how to get featured better than Amanda. So this is like gold. I don't even know why you're doing it for free, but it's awesome and you guys should get on it.
Maybe, but no, I got sick. This was a few months ago. I got really sick. And so I was quarantined, to the couch for like an entire weekend. And I've had this idea for so long that and actually I had most of it written out like in Google Docs and notes and stuff. And I finally was like, you know what, if I'm going to just have 2 days, just sit here and be sick, I just knocked it out and I put together the course. I think there's 4 modules in the course. And I put a ton of little, you know me, I like to go on tangents and put little snippets and tidbits in there. So it's got plenty of that stuff as well. So yeah, check it out. Thank you.
Go to, tell us again where we can find it and how we can.
Just at my website, photographerhack.com. The link is in my profile over on my Instagram account. And yeah, it's a free course, totally free course. Yeah.
We should put like a little story on Camera Mama so people can find it too. So let's do that so that people can find it easily, because it's really, Amanda is the authority on this. Like there's no one else. It's Amanda. Okay. All right. Well, it's so fun to talk to you as always. And thanks everyone who joined us. We hope that it was helpful and we can't wait to see your bokeh images. And next week we will be continuing with the bokeh theme and we hope you'll join us then also. Or are you going to record this one also and put it on YouTube?
Barring any technical difficulties, which are always inevitable. But yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and record this, put it back up on YouTube with the show notes so that you can go to the exact area. And like, if you wanted to just see the freelancing bit, you can just skip to the end and watch the freelancing bit. So if you just want to listen to us talk about toilet training tips, that's right at the end. You don't have to watch the whole thing. We can just skip you right to the end.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and we will see you next week right here. So
bye.
Bye guys. See ya.
Bye.